I think this is it. Okay, control copy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. So I'm gonna
Put it
find
right
this.
now that you did. It would be great.
You can put it in this thingy. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna put it in the chat here.
Okay. I don't know how to find the chat, but let's see.
You haven't
Oh,
put it. Yeah, it's just right here. So that should be it.
let me see. Oh, the three participant, there's a chat. There's nothing there.
Oh shoot. I put it in the wrong thing. Okay, I put the chat in the actual sister talk chat. That's hilarious. Okay.
This is
I'm like
oh,
obviously I'm not drunk, but it's like I'm haven't been on social media like this for a very long time. So you guys all have to bear with me because I'm just doing silly stuff because I'm all over the place. Okay, so there you are, Ella. You should have
yeah.
the link to the chat now. We're back up. Yeah. Okay, so what I was saying is just to bring us back up to speed is that in order to have this type of relationship, and I'm not gonna yuck anybody's yum. So I'm not gonna speak
But
to
hold on.
that bit. But what I will say is this. If you are a professional of a public facing professional, like Shannon Sharp is, right? And you are someone who has an opinion about a lot of things and you're respected in your field. That's all aside. I'll put that aside actually, but I'm just going to in order to have a relationship of this nature where it's not the norm, okay? Where in fact it is the norm for some people, but it's not, I'll say, palatable to the public eye. Okay, so it's something that is a kink that is not something that's accepted in certain social circles. And it's not something that you would be like, okay, I this is my type of relationship. It's something that he knew he had to hide, right? So, in addition to having hide this type of relationship, he's he's taking it to, and I'm saying him because he's the consumer, right? So this racial speech about having a black child and sexualizing race in the way that she is doing. He's the consumer of this. So he's paying for her. So everybody's having like this reaction, big reaction to this 19-year-old, or she's not 19 now. So we'll just say this woman who's paying a performative role for this consumer who is a grown man, and she's grown as well, but I'm saying this is a person who is paying for a performance, paying for a character. He's a consumer. So when you see all of this language, he's paying for that language. When you see that persona, when the all of this is something is things that he's paying for. If he wasn't enjoying it, he wouldn't be paying for it, and she wouldn't be saying it because she's not going to say things that it's not going to keep around, and and this relationship lasted over 2 years. And now you can say that when a person engages in this type of relationship, and I say this type because it requires a level of protection, a level of intimacy, a level of trust. She has to trust him, he has to trust her. And when you bring it to someone who's has the level of fame that he has, the stakes are even higher. So that means he's engaging with this particular woman for an extended period of time, and all of this that we know, and this little bit of information we know that everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is the things that she said, he's paying for her to say those things. So for me, it's like if I'm looking at the nature of this discussions that have been had, the nature of their relationship that he's paying for, then it means that this person is paying to abuse another person. And that is their desire, is to abuse someone. So if your desire is to abuse someone and that person is consenting to that abuse, for whatever reason, kink or not, is that's a factual action that's taking place. This is something that's turning him on, but something that he's investing his money, his time, and he's putting his reputation on, his family life on. He's saying, I need this so much that I'm going to put everything at stake and I'm going to continue on this relationship for 2 years. And the fact that I'm saying 2 years, the reason why I think that's important is because a relationship that lasts 2 years is building trust, is building, I know you and I know I can expect and what you're going to accept. So if she's been having this kind of interaction with him for a very long time, and he's pushed past those boundaries so many times, that means he's trusted her that she's not going to go tell anybody even if he has pressed past those boundaries, and has told him that I can continue on to do this. And the reason why I want to talk about this even because it's the power and control dynamic. And when you look at power and control
Yes.
dynamics, that's kind of where abuse lives.
And
And
that's what BDSM is when there's a surrender of power. And then of course they're the person who's taking the power, but is surrendered. So is part of the kink.
right, I get that as a kink, but I'm just saying the point of the matter is he's paying for this kink. He's saying I'm a type of person that needs to abuse someone, and I'm the type of person that
That's
this is
turned
so.
on by it.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
He's
hey,
turned
Marcus.
on by it.
Right. But I say he's more than turned on by it, because you can be turned on by something, but are you going to invest in it in a way that is going to it has the potential to destroy your life? Probably you're not, but he did so, and he's saying, well, this is something that's such an important feature in my life that not only am I going to pay for it, and it was a safe space for him. And I'm saying that it was a safe space for him to unleash his abuse on that person. And so to think that a person who needs to be able to abuse someone isn't going to or isn't capable of going past those abusive lines or whatever that
Parameters of the relationship.
it's very unlikely that it wouldn't. And then you have to look at the fact that he's actually that there's a predatory nature in it outside of that, because he wants someone who's much, much younger than him. And that to want someone who's much, much younger than you also tells a lot about the person. So I'm looking at the fact that that's someone who has a desire to abuse someone, and a desire for that person to be younger than. So that means he wants there to be a level of vulnerability as well. That supersedes just the kink. And then you want to take race into it again. So you look at the elements that's happening, that's featured in the race bit. I look at, again, this language she's talking about, the baby and all this is her regurgitating things that she knows is going to turn him on. So this is things that she's mirroring that conversation. She's mirroring what she knows he wants to hear and what he's paying for. She's being the fantasy for him. So all of this tells me that he needs someone of this particular race to want him, and he wants to be able to abuse that person as well. So yeah, I do think it's very, very possible. And I would say it's very unlikely that he didn't do what she's saying he did. Now, what I will say is that he probably did not think that she would, number one, view it as him as abuse outside of their relationship. And actually I'll kind of push back on that as well, because she's someone, if your profession is, if your role is, especially if you have experience in this kink, then you know how to explicitly say no. You know the difference between that no, and you know how to articulate the other no. This is not an area where you're not experienced at. So we can know that she knew what that meant. No, she knew the difference between a consensual no, and this is part of our role playing no. But I will say that if she's allowed him to go past that in one instance, and it just continued on or whatever, she forgave him or whatever, they just kind of continued on with it, and she accepted the payment or whatever, it's going to happen again. That's the guarantee. And
the nature of BDSM is actually pushing boundaries and extending them, and so that is also part of it. And so they're supposed to go further than what they thought that they could, and then drop out if they can't. That's what the safe word is for, because you push your boundaries.
You know a lot about this.
Yeah.
I do. I've
This
done my
topic.
research.
Well, the thing is this, that could be at play as well. That could be, but this is the thing. The reason why, and the reason why this is this area, like whether it's something that, I mean, it goes so close. It's what you're kind of alluding to, and to my understanding, and I could be wrong, is that the lines are so blurred where it's possible that he wouldn't know the difference between whether he's committing a crime or not.
No, he knows that legally, like legally is abuse.
What? Huh?
Well, no, I'm saying based
No, it's not.
on, I'm
Legally, you
saying
can do
based
whatever
on
you
the
want. No matter.
understanding of what this kink
No, no, no,
requires.
no, 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 honey. Legally is abuse. Like legally, if if the neighbors hear that happening, it's going to be a DV charge, regardless if
Mm,
she say this is her kink, regardless to if they say they like it. This
I'm
is
gonna
a
have to look
DV
that up
charge.
because that sounds unconstitutional.
Well, this is what I'll say. I'll say that a lot of guys have used this in the UK, especially, and that's because that's where I've been living for a while.
The UK
And you find, and the reason
is
they've changed laws.
honey. That's where BDSM came from.
Okay, well,
The
I'm just
UK.
saying,
Yes.
I'm saying that there's been a
Talking about like,
mass of guys saying that this is a kink, and this woman has now unalived because of that. And it's been so prevalent that they have put laws around it where it doesn't matter whether you say this is was
Like,
a
honey,
kink
we're
or
in
not.
America, and like,
Huh?
it's taboo. We're in America, it's taboo. Like a lot of people don't even know that BDSM is a thing until 50 Shades of Grey came out.
I don't know.
That's when
I would
I
say
learned
that
about it.
all I would say is, but just with this situation, I think absolutely sure what she's saying did happen. I would say that probably the reason why you're hearing about it now is because he probably did put an end to the relationship, and he wasn't, and once he put that into the relationship, she probably did an audit, and she said, well, you did do these things, which is against the law, and now you're gonna pay me for it. So that's probably why we're hearing about it now,
He
because
risked that, like you said, he risked all of that for the desire, for his desires to be met. He knew that was a potential, and he knew that she could definitely do that. I mean, but like we said, there's trust in a BDSM relationship. Like trust is like the main thing. Like if you don't have trust in this person, that's what a lot of people actually go and meet random people on BDSM sites and get themselves murked. And the reason why is because they don't have the trust. They did not build the relationship where they know what is a person's limits and what is a little bit past it, and then they kill them. I mean, unalive them.
think that I don't know. It's just a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. I gotta take a personal pause with the calls for myself. So I'll be right back. But there is I'll just kind of bring us into something else too. So there's a lot of conversation around this, obviously, and I was looking at a discussion on the Breakfast Club because apparently, obviously, all guys are saying this woman is just trying to get a money grab, and
duh.
a lot of the and women as well are saying this, that this is a money grab, and she's just some demented person because of, and I feel like this is kind of the way the media put the messages and everything, and they're the big, what I see most prevalent around the media is about the messages where she's saying she want to put a black baby in him, she wants him to have put a baby on her, a black baby in her, and more about the race part.
So I have a question.
Huh?
How is her expecting more money from what she had given out of herself? How is her expecting and desiring and attempting to get more money from what she gave out any different than a dude taking a woman out to dinner and then demanding sex after?
Wait, say that again.
Yeah, because it went over my head too.
How is her? She was in this relationship with this dude. She was making it clear she wanted more money, right? He was not giving her more money. He was still getting his little rocks off.
Mhm.
How is her now that he's ending the relationship and she didn't get what she wanted because she wanted a baby so she could have child support, right?
Mhm.
He didn't get that. How was it any different
She
from him?
wanted that baby.
How is it any different from a dude in a relationship with a woman that he's been in for a while and she didn't have sex with him, but he wants sex and then he goes after it. And he's
Oh,
mad because she didn't give him sex.
wait, I'm confused. How's
I
that
don't.
different?
I'm saying everybody has expectations in a relationship. In his
Okay.
relationship, he wanted very violent sex and she wanted money. She wanted
Uh-huh.
more money than he was giving. He
Yeah.
obviously wanted more violence than she was giving.
Which is like, if you're doing OnlyFans, give me money. Now you probably making more than I am. We're doing
But the
less
thing
work.
is, so I don't think that I just don't buy the whole. I feel like this was more
He should
performative
just give her
than
the
actual
money.
desire.
He should just give her the money and move on. And she's
I
gonna
think that he should
money.
have just given her the money, moved on in the first place, because it's
Exactly,
So,
like this is just, you
exactly,
know what you're getting
exactly,
into. How do these
exactly,
guys not know what they're getting into? Like, pay the woman her money and move on with your life, because
exactly.
you were bigger, you are just as much of the problem as she is.
because
So
she's expecting too much for her value. Like I'd be like, if I was
how?
with,
He chooses
if I
her
was,
value, not him.
listen, if I was him, I would have messaged other OnlyFans models
He
and
should have,
asked
but
them
he didn't do that
and
though.
asked them for a price, like how much would you
You
do for
think that
this
that's
amount,
not
right?
risky?
And
How
then
would that
and
not be too
then
risky? Because then
and then I would hold on,
that's
and then
not
I would
smart.
show her. I'm like, you see the price of all these other 10 people, and
Her
you see how
saying
your
that
price
somebody
That's
exceeds
else
not
will
this
smart.
do
by a
it.
lot.
Okay.
That does
Okay.
not
So,
make somebody lower their price.
and then also not,
Okay,
it's also
but
not a
it's like,
smart strategy.
okay, cool, but that's
I'll be
why
right
I'm
back.
not. First off, you would get the transactional stuff on text, so you have proof, right? Right?
Yeah, but it don't matter. None of that
Hold on, hold
matters.
on.
But she had proof because you said $20,000 for one cheek and 20,000 for the next. She was making it clear that she wanted more money. Maybe she thought about all those times when he decided to do things more than pushed her past her limit. When he said he was going to choke her and she didn't ask for that. And she said she didn't want that. And he said, you don't have a choice. Well, at that point, me not having a choice cost you what, $50 million. You don't get to take something from somebody and then tell them what their value for it is, because we choose our value.
Yeah, I just think that, look,
Oh,
You don't
I
tell
mean,
Gucci what their value is. Gucci tell
yeah,
you.
but here's the thing. She did. She just tried to she tried to charge him. Like she said, this is blah blah blah, right? She said, it's no longer free. You will pay for it. This chicken this much. This chicken this much.
well, he was paying for it in the beginning. Like he was, look, at the end of the day, like he was paying for it. He was paying for it regardless, and he knew the value. He gave her you know what her value was? Her value was his career, and he knew that. And he said, no matter what, it's like I'm gonna keep going for this because it's worth it. So
Um,
he gave her value. And like and the reason why I think it's like pair is because it's like, again, you can go all the way back to the beginning of time and these dudes are doing the same thing and it's just dumb.
I
So
think
I
he
feel like
should
if
have
you
hit
get
Jay
yourself
Z
in,
up and be like, "Hey, if you can get rid of her for less than this, for less than the
but
price you
look,
shot."
how would that work when it's like he can, that's number one. If he took that approach, it's like he is risking too much because he's risking outing himself. So what do you think that all those people will be like, okay, now I have these messages from this dude, so I'm gonna go to TMZ or whatever, and
All
there
right, I gotta go.
now he's
Goodbye.
already ruined his reputation there. So I don't think that'd be the approach. But so you think that she really wanted to have that kid? Because people are looking at these messages like she factually wanted to, like, this is not her plan into his fantasy. This is actually her wanting to have a child. Because at this stage, she already knew that she had everything. She had all the ammo that she needed. She didn't need to have a child to get his money, and she knew that. He knew that as well. Okay, I'm just here by myself now. I'm talking. That's fine. Okay. Oh, it says recording pause. Okay.